Microeconomics, Perloff 1.3. Uses of microeconomic models. Have you ever imagined a world without hypothetical situations? Stephen Wright. Because microeconomic models explain why economic decisions are made and allow us to make predictions, they can be very useful for individuals, governments, and firms in making decisions. Throughout this book, we consider examples of how microeconomics aids in actual decision-making. Hence, we briefly look at some uses by individuals and governments. Individuals use microeconomics to make purchasing and other decisions, chapters 3 through 5. For example, we examine how inflation and adjustments for inflation affect individuals in chapter 5. In chapter 15, we explore how to determine whether it pays financially to go to college, how to invest in stocks, bonds, and other financial instruments, and whether to buy insurance is covered in chapter 16. Individuals have to decide whether a used car is a lemon or worth buying, chapter 18. Whether potential employers regard your college degree as proof of your abilities depends on the fraction of people who have advanced degrees and whether education provides useful training, chapter 18. Whether you should hire a lawyer by the hour or offer the lawyer a percentage of any winnings depends on the type of case, chapter 19. Another use of microeconomics is to help citizens make voting decisions on the basis of candidates' views on economic issues. Your government's elected and appointed officials use or could use economic models in many ways. Recent administrations have placed increased emphasis on economic models. Today, economic and environmental impact studies are required before many projects can commence. The President's Council of Economic Advisors and other federal economists analyze and advise national government agencies on the likely economic effects of all major policies. Indeed, a major use of microeconomic models by governments is to predict the probable impact of a policy. In Chapter 2, we show how to predict the likely impact of a tax on the prices consumers pay and on the tax revenues raised. In Chapter 9, we analyze the effects on markets of various international trade policies, such as tariffs and quotas. Chapter 11 considers how San Francisco should set the price for cable car rides and the effects of government regulations on electric utilities. Governments also use economics to decide how best to prevent pollution and global warming, chapter 17. Decisions by firms reflect microeconomic analysis. Firms price discriminate or bundle goods to increase their profits. Chapter 12. Many strategic decisions concerning pricing, setting quantities, advertising, or entry into a market can be predicted using game theory. Chapter 13. In particular, oligopolistic and monopolistically competitive markets, such as American and United Airlines competition on the Chicago-Los Angeles route, can be analyzed and predicted using game theory. Chapter 14. When the phone company should replace telephone poles, or a mining company should extract ore, depends on interest rates. Chapter 15. Firms decide whether to offer employees deferred payments to ensure hard work. Chapter 19. Summary. Microeconomics, the allocation of scarce resources. Microeconomics is the study of the allocation of scarce resources. Consumers, firms, and governments must make allocation decisions A society faces three key trade-offs: which goods and services to produce, how to produce them, and who gets them. These decisions are interrelated and depend on the prices that consumers and firms face and on government actions. Market prices affect the decisions of individual consumers and firms, and the interaction of the decisions of individual consumers and firms determines market prices. The organization of the market, especially the number of firms in the market, and the information consumers and firms have, plays an important role in determining whether the market price is equal to or higher than the cost of producing an additional unit of output. 2. Models. Models based on economic theories are used to predict the future or to answer questions about how some change, such as a tax increase, will affect various sectors of the economy. A good theory is simple to use and makes clear, testable predictions that are not refuted by evidence. Most economic models are based on maximizing behavior. Economists use models to construct positive hypotheses concerning how a cause leads to an effect. These positive questions can be tested. In contrast, normative statements, which are value judgments, cannot be tested. 3. Uses of microeconomic models. Individuals, governments, and firms use microeconomic models and predictions to make decisions. For example, to maximize its profits, a firm needs to know its consumers' decision-making criteria, the trade-offs between various ways of producing and marketing its product, government regulations, and other factors. For a large company, beliefs about how its rivals will react to its actions play a critical role in how the company forms its business strategies.